Alright guys, before we start today's episode, as you might already suspect, Kevin, this is how we usually start ones where there's been a technical fuck up. But basically, today's episode, we had to use the audio for the cameras and stuff again, because the thing that we basically plug all these mics into ran out of batteries, despite me buying new ones. Yep. But basically, apologies, that's happened a few times now. Basically, what we've realised is we can just plug it into the wall and it will never happen again. So we've just recorded today's episode, which went swimmingly. We've got the complete audio for it, and basically we'll promise you it will never fucking happen again with this audio fuck up. But we need to apologise, because again, today's audio will be slightly lower quality, so we can only apologise about that.
Yep.
But the chat was high quality.
Chat was high quality.
Yes, we've got Rosco in, very funny guy.
Joined by our friend,
one of life's
comedian.
characters.
Yes, Rosco McClelland, who's a great laugh, and we really enjoyed the chat with him. But so we've got about the first 10 minutes.
Those are the best bits.
Those are the best bits anyway. So guys, just to say, apologies about that, and it won't happen again unless some other thing fucks up. But we basically figured out how to stop it from happening. So apologies. Well, we've got here as well, just to say thanks so much for listening.
Cheers.
Again, the numbers are still we're absolutely over the moon with it and all that sort of stuff. We've had loads of nice messages recently as well for people that have been listening or watching online or anything like that, and watching on YouTube. So very much thanks for that, and just enjoy the episode, and we'll speak to you soon. Cheers
guys.
Enjoy.
Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh.
Check 1 2.
Yes. So that, and you want us to tee up for any cool stories?
Nah.
We wanted to ask you a bit about your mad days, like in the Cathouse and stuff like that. Is that alright to talk about?
Oh, 100%.
Right, yeah,
Because that's how you actually met Lindsay, your missus, isn't it?
Pretty much, aye.
It was you were...
Fuck, right enough.
I was selling. She was... I'll not say she was buying.
She was just attracted to you because of your elevated status as a...
Aye,
salesperson.
Big man on campus.
I know, we're good.
Is this one good?
Everything's good. We're
right,
going. So
yeah.
please continue.
I'll tell you about Kenny Goth, man, if you want. Kenny Goth is a guy who would bring the pills in.
Alright.
And
Is that his real name?
I don't know.
Is it like Kenny the Goth?
No, it was just Kenny Goth.
Right, okay.
Kenny Goth was like a 7 foot tall guy. He never tried to, like, now, back in the day, right? Now you would be like, oh, well, Kenny Goth was, trans. But back in the day, Kenny Goth just at one point turned up with a big pair of dids on him. It never changed anything else, so I'm like, well, what's the vibe,
Yeah.
But Kenny
change
Goth would
pronouns.
bring the pills into the catty, and then I would get them from him, and then I would punt them around the place.
Right.
And
How did you set up this arrangement? How did you know to get this guy?
I think I was buying and he was selling.
Right.
First time, and then I was like, well, what if I just got them for you? What if you just
It's like
brought
Tig
them
or
in?
something, you become it. And then
Yeah.
You sell it to Lindsay and now she's punting them.
It's like a pyramid scheme, though, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like, that's how it starts.
Yeah.
If you sell to 10 people and then they do it and then they do it and then...
I was like, I feel like I'm a much more... Because Kenny Goth wasn't a chatty guy, Kenny Goth was very much a sit in silence, wait for people to come to him. And I was
the
like...
catty guy, but in the catty.
Yes!
Come on!
Yes!
This happened in the catty, by the way.
El Chateau de Chat, I believe they would call it in French.
Is that right?
House of the Cat.
Who's the
Maybe.
cat?
Yeah.
Well, if there's a cat house in Paris, then that'll be what it's called.
There is a cat house in Paris, I think. I think that's where it came from, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Could be wrong. Could be wrong.
So you got roped into this sort of drugs.
Well, I sort of roped myself into it, man. I was like, hey, listen, if I can get these pills off of him and then I can punt them, I can have X amount of free pills for myself.
So that was the motivation.
Not even for the money.
The motivation was, I don't have to pay for these fucking things if I can punt enough of them, man. 3 pills for me and my pals. Great times, man.
And did you have any techniques? How did you sell them?
I would just be out my nut and people would go, there's a guy who knows where to get pills. That guy's jaw's all over the place, man. Go and ask him. I mate.
You've got a similar thing to me as well, where like, because I would sometimes get stopped in nightclubs and people go, oh, what are you on and all that? Give some of what you're on and that, because my pupils dilate a lot when I'm in like dark rooms. And you've got like quite big kind of eyes as well. So people would fucking see it.
I've got eyes that people are like, it's like one of those neon signs and a chippy that says open.
How old were you when you were punting eckies?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
That's how good they were.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Well, actually, the ones at Kennygoth were punting were honkingly bad. But, I done my research. I used to go on, like, Pill Checker and stuff like that and find out how good they were. Aye. It might still be, but it used to be a website and you could just like type of pills and stuff like that and, like, describe them and then it would show you what was in them and people's... Like a review site, essentially.
It's like, Antiques Roadshow or something, if there's, like, a marking on the bottom of the plate or something. That's how you know it's from a certain region or whatever.
I remember it like Tea in the Park one year. It was like stay away for the fucking Mortal Kombat ones or whatever, like the red Mortal Kombat ones. Those are the dodgy ones this year.
Mate, I tell you, one summer I got these ones called Pink Love Hearts, and it was the fucking best year of my life, man. Never forget them. They were incredible, man. I couldn't and I took like 40 of them down to Leeds Festival, and then I took like 3 on the way down and I was all over the place, man. I was fucking flying. I was like, the train down was incredible. I was pure hanging out the window, like, you heat out the window, like smoking. Everybody was mad. I got to Leeds Festival, we set up, and within like 20 minutes, I'd lost them all.
Oh, fuck.
So you say you set up, because were you performing in a band at that time as well?
No. It was just
just set up your Eki stall.
We just set up my Eki stall. What a class! Oh man, that weekend though, I got more, but they weren't as good as the Pink Love Hearts. But that weekend, I remember like I became a pure like total liability, man. Like I was just gone.
Usually,
like,
you're such a safe pair of hands as well.
Like everybody else is like go to bed, and I was like, I'm not going to bed, man. And then like at one point, I remember sitting with these random people near a campsite DJ, and they had a fire going, and I had like a big fucking like glow stick thing, and I was just doing my nut, and I kept fucking smacking their fire with this glow stick, and all these embers were coming off, and they were all like, who is this guy and what's going on? And in my mind, I'm like, this is funny as fuck, man. Just keep going. I just kept hitting it and all that. And then eventually I was like, oh, you are not even saying anything about this, man. I'm bored. And I wandered on. I found these other people who seemed cooler, and they were. And I was chatting with them for like ages. And then some guy came past with a big curly mustache. And then one of the guys was like, let me touch your mustache. And the other guy was like, no. And he was like, let me touch your fucking mustache. And then he got up, and then the guy with the mustache pure ran away, and the other guy just aggressively chased him. And I was like, this is class, man. This is class. And then there was talk of going and robbing some people who were selling drugs out of tent further away that they knew of. But then that never materialised. And then I felt like everybody else was asleep at some point, and then it was like 6:30 in the morning, and there was like a toasty van setting up, and I felt like I was the last person alive, man. I was trying to like climb into the toasty van. Tell me you didn't rob
the toasty van.
No, I remember there being like a nice wee woman in it, and I was trying to like climb in the front to get, because it was so cold, and I was trying to get like a heat, and she was like, no, you can't come in here, lads, and I'm like, right, okay, and then I would move like a metre to the side and try and climb in again, man.
Did you get in?
No.
How was your mental health around this period?
Do you know what? Fantastic.
Never been better.
Mentally, I felt great. I was on the eckies constantly, man.
Was this before or after your selling days?
I think that was it? I think it was. I think it would coincide with that. Maybe just before. You know what I mean? When I realised the power of the ecstasy pill.
When you see a guy trying to jump into a toasty van, you think, That cunt's got some pills on him.
It's not the toasties that got him in that neck.
Stevie, can you quickly check that? Can you just flip that camera screen back? I'm just trying to double check I've actually pressed record on it. Sorry.
Is that your head?
Is it Noah? Probably should start by saying we are joined by Rosco McClelland today.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us on this. It's a very somber week for the nation.
Real sad week, man.
We thought getting Roscoe in would be the most respectful thing we could do.
Yeah.
He's the most staunch guy we know. So we'll get him in. You know, we're not going to end up in the front of the fucking Daily Telegraph or whatever.
It just, you know, even though, you know, my family is steeped in like loyalism and stuff like that, you know, I still feel like I'm the only like Rangers fan that might be able to get away with saying anything about the dead Queen, you know. I think I could get away with it, you know. I just go, my nana was in the Blacks, right? Fucking moan, you know. It's what the Queen would have wanted, you know. Arrange people to have a laugh
I'm
about
not
it.
even really sure what that means.
The Black, you want to go into more detail about
what's
the
that?
Blacks?
Can't talk about it, mate.
Similar to the Masons.
Can't talk about it. I think the Blacks is like the Orange Order, but it was mostly for like, well, we can't have women in the Orange Order. We need to make our own. We need to make a different colour.
Is that what is the brownies the girl version and the
That's
blacks?
it. That's it, man.
So obviously Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II sadly passed.
Imagine this was how you found out.
That's what I was going to say. Like, how did you all find out? Where were you when? Because it is a where were you moment you'll probably always remember now. Where were you when the Queen died? Where were you?
We were recording a radio show when the kind of news was breaking.
We were
and
working
it
all
was-
week on a topical radio show, and then as we were recording it, and then especially when I was editing it, it was like clear this isn't going to get put out.
Yeah.
But there was nothing official, and there was loads of rumours like, oh, she's actually dead, but they're not announced it yet, whatever. And then it was only when I left work and I was walking through town did I get the actual notification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And although I can't express any opinion about it legally,
Yeah.
what I can say is walking through town, awful lot of people looking down at their phones, looking up and smirking. That was my impression of people on Buchanan Street when I got the text.
Because we were told specifically by like the people who we were working with.
Like, you need to be really careful. This is on the Wednesday.
Impartiality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, don't tweet anything overtly political, nothing contentious, you know, let's keep it powder dry.
But it's almost as if they knew something was happening.
One day later, Queen pops it. Every other comedian in Britain has gone absolutely fucking tonto online. And I feel like I'm like injured at a World Cup. No,
You're
I
cup
wouldn't say
tied.
anything.
You're cup
Yeah,
tied.
yeah. It was the timing was suspicious.
It's weird, yeah.
But the meeting felt like one of those where it's like
They knew something.
no,
Yeah.
they didn't know, but
No.
it felt like because I'd been tweeting about Liz Truss and stuff like that. I felt like they were saying it to everyone, but it's like
Yeah.
Just
stay-
to
stay
you?
behave yourself.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you, Stevie?
So yeah, like we were recording that when she actually died. So I was meant to have a gig that night and asked Roscoe to fill in for me, and it was quite
I was on that gig as well.
quite a well paid gig.
Oh yeah, I was sad.
And I had like another thing I had to do. I've got a writing deadline I had to do,
Mhm.
and I couldn't be arsed with the gig anyway as well. But I had a writing deadline. But I was eating dinner when it happened. But
Right.
then
Did you drop your fork?
yeah, it was like slow mo, fork drop and clatter off the plate. But I was gutted because I was like, as soon as it happened, the gig got cancelled. And I'd just given it to Roscoe, and I was like, see if he gets paid for this fucking gig that I've just cancelled. Man, I went livid. Thank God. that
And Roscoe, how much did you end up getting paid?
It was cancelled out of
325.
respect to the Queen, but we weren't paid out of disrespect to us.
I actually got the initial fee £325 plus I got an extra 15% on top of that for like a sadness fee.
Grieving bonus. Where were you when had you just been given that gig by Stevie then when you won
Well,
it?
I was actually jacking off. And then a solitary tear rolled down my face and I knew something was amiss.
Roscoe does not work for the BBC.
BBC adjacent, you know. Been on CBBC.
BBC
It's all
Scotland's
right.
up for it. That contract didn't have anything about being
know.
impartial when the Queen died.
Did not. They said, say anything you want, you know, and we'll cut it out in the edit. But the first thing when I think I saw it on like Twitter or something like that during the day, and then I was like, oh no, see, something's not right here. And then my wife Lindsay messaged me going, oh my god, they've put Adele on the Radio 1 playlist. And I was like, right, well that's it. If they're, she was like, what does that mean? She's like, well they've not had that in like circulation for a while. They know something's up. And I was like, right, they're moving to sad tunes. And then when they announced that the Queen was actually dead, despite me like going, well, I better like sit and like kind of watch, stick the news on in the house and stuff like that and potter about. Then when they actually made the thing, I'd stepped away from the couch for like 10 minutes to make some pasta. And I'm like, kill your sit, man.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I was so annoyed because I was in the house during the day when Hugh Edwards comes on and they're wearing the black suit and all that, but nothing was happening yet, so no, that way they're just rolling news, nothing's happening, so they're just waffling away for ages and waiting to announce, and probably at that point she was already dead and they just hadn't announced it yet. And then I went out for dinner, and so I'd been watching all this news with nothing happening, and I was reading the article about all the stuff they do when the Queen dies, like change the music, all that kind of stuff. And then I was out for dinner, the place I was out for dinner, I couldn't get a reception, so, and then in the hour we were there, that's when she actually died. So I missed how they reported it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I just seen lasses be like, just showed me our WhatsApp group chat, and it was one of our pals out, the Queen's dead. That's how I found it. But it was weird though, because I went over the road and there was just the pub and there was like football and all that was on, and it was BT Sport was on. It was like Man U game or something, but they obviously, whatever one of the stipulations is, that they can't show adverts.
Yeah, it just goes like great or
So
something.
they just had like, it was like BT Sport and they put up an image of the Queen, but before they'd obviously get round to doing that, they just kept showing the same BT Sport advert over and over again. They showed it honestly about 10 times. It was just like a compilation of the stuff like UFC and the Fitbit and all that stuff that they show, because they obviously aren't allowed to show
skills compilation.
obviously aren't allowed to show any other adverts. It was so strange, man. But it was weird just because I'd been watching it all day. I was kind of like, I was annoyed I missed the confirmation.
Yeah.
But
I was told by like a BBC producer years ago that they've got all these packages in place ready for when it happens, and there's like a reporter on standby at like the greyest street in Britain to report about it, just to make it look sad. There's like some street up in Aberdeen.
Just for that.
Just to report about it.
I know, I was like fucking like a nuclear fucking, you know, like test thing, isn't it? Like they would do it all the time apparently on Sundays and stuff. They would always
was it like
prepare for
Code
it.
Unicorn or something?
That was if she dies in Scotland, which is obviously what happened. She died at Balmoral. But what's happening is so she gets transported to Holyrood House and then it goes up. She goes up the Royal Mile
I was
on
there
a
this
train.
morning and it's all blocked up.
Aye, because they take her from Holyrood House up to the Royal Mile on a train for fucking Waverley.
A train up the Royal Mile?
No. She gets taken up from Holyrood House up the Royal Mile onto the train, the Royal train at Waverley or something like that, and then they do a fucking big long-winded train route down to London, and like so that's basically what's going to be. But could you imagine if that happened during the Fringe when the festival's on?
Cunts trying to fly out of the car. Do you like magic?
We just made the Queen disappear.
I made a plan the other night on Twitch, and I was saying like, I'm not planning on stealing a body from St Giles Cathedral, right? But if I was gonna, here's exactly how I would do it. 2 different ways of managing to steal a body from a casket in St Giles Cathedral. And I think both of them were actually pretty viable.
Right, go for it. What's the first one?
Well, right, see behind it, right? I went on to Google Maps to check out
Been hanging out with Kenny Goth again.
Rosco will be fucking punting pills at the funeral.
Kenny Goth's a distraction. You know what I mean? 7 foot tall, big set of double D's. What's not to look at? But you see, there's like a horse statue behind. This is the real best bit of the plan. There's a horse statue behind St Giles Cathedral where that guy that sold bodies to Birkenhair's buried in the car park. Now, if you can saw off the rider of the statue, you can essentially get a rope and hook over to the mezzanine level of St Giles Cathedral. Then you've got window access, right? All you need to do is cut into the window, get down, Kenny Goth goes in, distracts the guards, make away with the corpse, right? whoever it is, whoever's corpse it is.
Just the corpse, no the coffin.
Just the corpse. No, you need to leave the coffin there. What you would like to do is replace the sawed-off statue rider in the coffin. You know, give it a bit of weight. You know, they open it up and go, they're looking a bit of a funny colour, right? And then, but you know, who knows? People die different ways.
She had black hands like on the lead up to it. So
there you go. It's perfectly set up. And then you need to get the corpse of not the queen, paint her the same colour as the rider, and then the way out you sit her on top of the horse where you've cut the body off, and then you can get away without carrying some corpse with you. People like that, that's just a regular person out for a walk, something like that. And then when the heat dies down a few days later, come back, take a price.
It's as easy as that.
Easy as that.
simple.
What's your other option, Rose?
That's plan A, what's plan B?
Well, you know that.
Probably a bit more complicated.
A little bit more complicated, yeah. I'll tell you what. You know that street that goes round in a big bend near there. I'm assuming that's where they're taking.
Coburn Street. No.
Yeah, I think so, and it goes down onto near the. It's got all the
You
magic
talking about
shops.
Edinburgh?
Aye, in Edinburgh. Aye.
Right.
You go down like the mile and it's got that one, and it runs to like the bridge over.
That's
the
Coburn
train
Street.
station. That one. Well, there's actually a wee off the mile. There's a wee close that runs down with steps.
Yeah.
Now down that place, there's actually a giant rail. So if you go there, previously with like an angle grinder, they've got like skate stoppers, like bumps on the rails. If you can grind all them flat, if you can get a bunch of ne'er-do-wells to stand on the mile and make them take like a secret route down there, they're like, we can't go down the mile, down the street, we need to go down the close. If you can get them to divert down the close, then at some point you can ambush them on a pair of rollerblades, right? Grab the corpse, and then you can like use the momentum you've got going downhill to leap onto the. And I've been going to the gym, so I could probably she's no weighing that much. You know what I mean? I've seen the picture. I could put her on my shoulders like a squat, and I could leap onto the rail, front side all the way down it, and the momentum that I would have, I'd be able to get out of there before anyone even knew where I was going.
So you don't think this will be televised or anything that you need to catch you doing it?
Well, I reckon all the cameras will be on tripods, you know, so they'll you know what, there might be a helicopter camera. You're right about that.
Be like the OJ footage of.
Rosco carrying the Queen on rollerblades.
I would need to hope that it happened on the day where it was raining, and a lot of people have umbrellas, and then once everybody's got umbrellas, a helicopter becomes moot. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Apologies if this is obvious, Roscoe, but why would you actually want to do this?
I want to steal us and
For a laugh, aye.
Just you and the Queen on your Twitch stream.
I didn't say who it was, Stephen, right? I'm
That's
trying to stay off these MI5 watch lists, man.
The ultimate tribute, wouldn't it, really? Just,
Yeah, because you do a lot of puppetry on Twitch.
Oh,
as
no,
well,
it's not.
You'd have to do that, you'd have to cut a hole in the back of the skull and hinge it in some way, because I think the jaw locks when you die.
This is not
There's going to be a shot in this.
This is.
So, by the way, you're not even allowed to cut to me and Steve laughing. Joke.
What do you look at somber?
Yeah. Terrible. That's awful.
You should have worn a Mushy Edwards outfit today.
I know. I was actually thinking we
disrespectful.
should all wear black, but
Show some class. That's what I want to say.
well, today not only is part of the period of mourning for the Queen, but is obviously today actually the day we're recording is 9/11 as well.
Favourite day of the year.
Another where were you moment.
I don't know if we have to show impartiality about 9/11, do we?
What side are you on?
Well, those towers, you know, they did a lot of bad things, and you know, I remember I was in primary 7 when 9/11 happened, came up the road, and I think one of them, the towers must have been hit, and I remember coming in and seeing, you know, it all unfolding. It just felt like a movie, didn't it? And then I remember seeing them come down, and I think I seen that live, and it was just mental. But that was the first, I think that's when I became politically engaged, 9/11. That was the first time I remember knowing anything about stuff. I remember then you seen Osama bin Laden on the telly, and my mate came round the corner. He's like, it's got to be World War III and all that. And then that night was the first ever night that I went to football training, right? And we used to train down the road, and it's like down at the school, and it was like the football pitches had a view of the high flats in Clydebank, and I just, because you don't know any better, right? I'm just the whole time I'm shiting at him. I'm expecting a plane to fly into one of those high flats. We're under attack, you know. Like,
every building in the Western Hemisphere above 3 stories is getting it.
well, that's it, you know. North Tower, South Tower, and then the high flats in Clydebank. They're the big 3 targets for Al Qaeda.
I was eating super noodles, right? And I'll never forget it.
Jacking it.
Because, I was jacking it, eating super noodles. I'll never forget it.
The only 2 times Roscoe's ever masturbated was 9/11 and the Queen dying.
You saved that third wank. You think carefully about when that's
What are the odds, man? I'm like Aaron Ramsey. But the reason I won't forget it is because the super noodles were left to... you put a very shallow amount of water in and you're supposed to like stir them around. However, these super noodles were left unstirred, so the top was actually still crusty as fuck, you know what I mean? And then the bottom was like regular, so even though they were stirred at the end, there was still very like al dente noodles involved in them, and I was just thinking, could this day get? Do you know that see Osama bin Laden, R.I.P. He went to the same school as Dom.
You just need to be impartial about it. Dom Joly?
Yeah,
Went to the same school as Dom Joly, aye. Trigger Happy TV guy.
Aye, but it's like they had the same name, but it wasn't the same guy, was it?
What?
No,
How many Dom Jolys?
What?
How many Dom
Yeah,
Jolys?
So Osama?
Alright.
I think there was
No, it was the same guy, wasn't it?
No, it was same dude.
What?
Same dude. Real OG Osama bin Laden.
You should see the size of Bin Laden's phone.
I would have loved to have seen Osama bin Laden go down the Trigger Happy TV route instead of the Death to the West route, like.
I actually think which was more reprehensible, Trigger Happy TV,
Aye, it's arguably it's a big prank, like crashing planes into
It's a gotcha.
That's a gotcha moment.
I tell you what, Dom Joly would not have been able to execute those planes as well as Osama
That
bin
World
Laden.
Trade Center got punked pretty hard.
Obviously, we all know that Osama bin Laden didn't actually do 9/11.
It was an inside job.
Inside job.
The planes came to the inside.
That was the problem. They were trying to take off at the inside.
I said the stupidest thing I think I've ever said was about 9/11.
Okay.
I was at work one day on Skull Squad a few years ago, and I was so tired. I'm not used to early starts, and this is the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. They were just chatting. I think it maybe was September the 11th. I can't remember. But someone was talking about how if someone like the writers of Frasier or something were on the plane, if someone that's not right. But
I've
someone
heard
like
that,
something like that.
something like that, aye.
Somebody sort of notable in TV or whatever was on the plane. They were talking about how they were on the plane in 9/11. They crashed. I was like, did they die? Yeah, they fucking
Yeah, they
died.
probably died. They probably died.
I don't think I'll ever say anything that dumb in my whole life.
They
Were you
managed
being
to pull out
serious?
Yeah.
as the
very
plane
tired.
entered the building. They kicked
Yeah,
on the window and rolled
miraculous
out.
recovery.
You say that though, but do you know that thing about the like I got into getting into politics? It was after 9/11, watching these like conspiracy theory videos when I was a wee guy on YouTube and stuff. But this is a fact apparently that like, do you know that they found both the passports, the hijackers, just on the street, like they were perfectly intact. It's like they couldn't find the black boxes, anything like that, but they just happened to find like Mohammed Atta's fucking passport and shit. It was just totally fine.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, they'd have been as well been able to see the fucking writers of Frasier just kicking about fine after it as well. The odds.
Those Saudi passports are made of different stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know what they're making them out of, but they are tough, man.
But that is the first thing that got me politically engaged, because I would watch all these conspiracy theory videos about 9/11 on YouTube, and eventually I like veered into like actual politics stuff and all that. And now like 9/11 conspiracy, it's a bit kind of like fucking, it's about, everybody thinks kind of cranks and all that, and then like it's a bit mental because there's no like, I remember it was Loose Change was the documentary. I had it in my iPod, And it's like all these, and some of the things are probably true, and then there's some hunters that are like mad leaps of logic, and like some they just go too far.
You had a documentary at 9/11 on your like an iPod video.
Aye.
That's amazing.
Aye.
I just had like one episode of Family Guy.
that was like that. It was like 2 episodes of Family Guy, 3 South Parks, and 9/11 loose change. But no, that got me, and then I got into Chomsky and all that shit, and started like looking at and I knew about politics. But that was really what was my kind of way in.
We're still waiting, aren't we?
That was my sort of way into DJ music, if you'll allow me.
9/11 was?
Yeah, because they had...
It's going to be some kind of like David Guetta tribute.
That's
what got me into Black Lives Matter, was the David Guetta tribute.
There was a song... There's a song going about the school just after it happened. It was like a wee lassie who had lost her dad in 9/11 talking over some mad banging tune. Like if a band would die back in the day, they'd make like a tribute tune.
It'd be Tupac Life Goes On.
Aye, and they would put like, "Oh, this is for you, Jambo," or whatever.
I've not heard the official plans for this funeral yet.
There was this.
Rest in peace, motherfucker. There's a heaven for a G. That's what they say.
Heaven for a queen. But there was like that's mad tune. A wee lassie talking over about her dad died, and it was in this mad rave tune. It's class, great tune, man.
That's the first time you heard about 9/11.
No, it's not. That's not how the news was broken. That's what got me into DJ music. Because that's a good song.
You know what? You can really say something with music. You can really, change people's hearts and minds.
You can.
As long as you have a wee girl talking about a dead dad, you can put it to any hardstyle beat you want. See, back to Osama bin Laden, if that's alright.
Of course.
Because I was thinking about that, and because now when I found out he went to like the same like private school, some Lebanese private school, was Dom Joly, and I was
so
like,
Dom Joly was in school in
Lebanon,
rather than he was in school here. Why was Dom Joly?
We've got one next week, so we'll just ask him then.
Osama?
He's got a couple. Don Joly's got a couple of questions to answer. No, yeah.
He was like, his dad was like some high up guy or something like
It's
that.
like an international school kind of thing.
It's
Like an ambassador
school.
or something. Was it?
But see, do you think, because sometimes, right, I see like some comedians getting things, I'm like, aye, but it's because they went to fucking private school, you know what I mean? Do you think that other terrorists are seeing like Osama bin Laden and they're like, aye, I know and all that, aye, but I mean, obviously,
comes from
Cambridge footlights.
Yeah, he's getting funded by the CIA the same way that like some of the comics have just got a big agency behind them. It's just like, he didn't pay for those bombs himself, man. Fucking
nepotism. He's the face of fucking.
His dad knows George Bush. Fuck's sake.
That's his mom and dad's cave bunker though, isn't it?
So we never got to the moment where you met your wife, Lindsay.
Well, I was just in the Cathouse punting, and you get to know a lot of people when you're responsible for their good night out, and I think that was how I sort of met her. You know what I mean?
Approached her saying you want Eckies. She's obviously like, nah.
I don't think she was. I don't think she was intentionally looking for Eckies, but certainly. I sort of a big giant group of like my friends and then other people sort of bonded through the want of partying like fuck, you know what I mean? That was sort of it. I had some great times. I mean, I stayed in this flat in Brighton, and it was like sometimes like just on like a Wednesday night I would like go, oh, there's a bit of paper, you know what I mean? Move this bit of paper and it'd be like a random like pile of powder under it, and I'd be like, well, you know what I mean? I could clean that up via the bin, or I could clean that up via my nervous system. And I'd be like, alright. And there was like great times where like there was a day where I was trying to screw my head on, because I was like plumbing at the time. I was trying to screw my head on, but like, you need to get right for work and all that. And then it turned out it was one of my mates' birthdays, and they were going to like a night called Revolution at the QMU. It was a good night, and then I was like, right, I'll just go out and I'll have 1 or 2 drinks. Turned out I went out and had 1 or 2 eckies and hundreds of drinks. And then I went to sleep, like, I think it was about an hour before I had to get up and leave for work. And then I got up and I left for work, and I was on my way to work, and I had a can of Tennent's with me to square me up. And then I realised when I was like quarter of the way there, I was like, oh, I'm not wearing a fucking t-shirt, man. I was just topless. I got up, put my work trousers on, and just fucking left the flat, man. No t-shirt. I was like, oh, I'm going to go back and get a t-shirt, man. I was like, I'm going to be late. I've not got a t-shirt.
Like though, you'll be right as rain. Just squared up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a photo of me somewhere from that day where I'm like on a ladder, but like I'm like grouting in a wall, I've got my hand in the wall, I'm just like sleeping on top of this ladder, man.
And that was when you decided to sober up, was it?
Not at all. I thought, you know what I mean, I need to get better at getting away with this, man. I need to start being able to burn the candle harder at both ends.
Because you've had quite an interesting view, like, so you obviously had your days in the Cathouse, obviously you used to be a plumber, you mentioned as well. Did you used to be in a band as well?
I used to be in a band, it was class, man.
A successful band.
We were successful in certain terms, yeah. In terms of like, nobody ever like signed us or approached us to sign us and stuff like that. But let's see, like back in the MySpace days, there was like, in terms of like total plays over a period of time, like we were getting listened to more than a lot of other like big bands in the world. We were like top 10 for the subgenre of pop punk on MySpace in terms of listens.
That's cool.
Wouldn't you have put that as a genre?
Yeah.
you
You were up there with Hayley Williams and all that.
We were right up there, man. Top 20 in punk and top 10 in pop punk, and I was like, we're the only band that don't have like.
It seems weird that no one would be approaching you.
Yeah, but also we were also a bunch of wee fuckheads, man.
Yeah.
You know,
What was the band called?
we were called Kicking Buckets.
That's a good name.
Yeah, that name existed before I got there, man. And it was cool, man. And we done like a couple of like tours and stuff like that in the UK. Just like we booked it ourselves and we paid for it ourselves, and we just drove around in this fucking tiny wee car, man, and just played these gigs. And it was it was a class thing to do at like the age of like 15, 16.
Yeah.
And be like, oh man, I'm out of here, man. You know.
Wait, did you like? No, I don't know if I'm making this up, but did you support somebody quite big?
Well, there was we played a gig with like the likes of like Enter Shikari. We played a few like good support gigs here in like Glasgow and stuff like that. But you might be talking about Limp Bizkit. Is that what you're about?
So.
That was another band that I was in, a new metal band called Psychodalic. And, essentially, I got to the point where I was like, I need to choose one of these bands, and I only actually like one of these bands, so I'm gonna stick with the original band, Kicking Buckets, and leave Psychodalic because some of them are fucking weird, man.
Were you a drummer in both the bands?
I was drumming, yeah. And then later on in life, like the guy who became the frontman of Psychodalic, he then befriended.
Psychodalic?
He was the Psychodalic, yeah. He befriended Fred Durst on Call of Duty, and then ended up opening for Limp Bizkit, and I'm like, well, I made the wrong choice there. Really.
Oh, so you never got to meet Fred Durst?
Never got to meet Big Freddie D, you know what I mean?
Love to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, we've been trying. The first ever album I bought was Chocolate Starfish. And
That was the first ever album I bought as well.
Yeah, it was bought for me by my mum actually.
I never had that, but I feel like all my pals did. Like,
Yeah.
it's a classic. That.
I had no idea what Chocolate Starfish
No,
meant at the
and
time.
Hot Dogs.
No,
With
no.
Water either.
One of the great titles, really.
Excellent.
I think I've only just worked out what hot dog flavour water is.
Cum.
It's like squirt in it.
It's cum, isn't it?
Is it cum?
I thought it was cum.
I thought it was
never
like
thought of it.
I thought it was like scoosh. You know what I mean?
I mean, this has been a great episode.
I've been squirted in before. In my mouth.
What it
Jesus.
tastes like.
Hot dog flavoured water. Like the two finally connected. And I was like, all right, yeah.
You know, Volvic actually do that. It's, touch of hot dog.
Why is that disgusting to me, man? That's like, I'm like, oh come on, Mark.
Touch of screw should have been fine.
Sorry, I'm taking it too far. I don't want
You can say you've been squirted in the mouth before, but you never say vulva.
The guys they're not bottling it, alright? Oh man.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Wowie.
But that must have been interesting because, like, so you basically had a experience of gigging and going about the country before doing stand up. So, like, it couldn't have been like, because it's a new thing for all of us, like when we started doing it. But you had the experience of gig life before doing comedy.
I'd like fucking died of Mars 100,000 times before I even got into comedy. So the deaths and stuff like that, and all the getting up on stage, felt like I was like, well, this is just sort of what I'm used to. I'm actually just doing this to replace that feeling that I got anyway. So, and I used to like just talk when like people were like tuning up and stuff like that, and I would just talk to people in the crowd and stuff like that. So like the show doesn't stop just because they're not playing the instruments. It was a very good vehicle for it.
So that's where you first compared then? Were you asking them, would you do another?
Essentially, aye.
You know, we used to just do the songs, and then the songs get shorter and my bits get longer. That's brilliant.
That was a very good Mr. Mulvaney for a living.
So how did you find it when you started doing stand up? Like, because obviously in a band you've got people there with you to share the highs and lows. Like, but then you do stand up. Well, yeah, we started doing Scrab as well, actually.
Sketch show.
It was sort of, you know what? I actually just loved it because I didn't have to carry all this stuff around, man.
Yeah.
Being a
That
drummer,
was
you
the
have to
main thing.
carry a lot of shit about, man. You know, you've got a big bag of cymbals. You know, you got a pedal, you got a big snare on your back. You
Couple
know,
of sticks.
a couple of sticks as well. You know, I would say more than a couple. You know what I mean? You want some backup, at least.
At least 4 sticks.
At least 4 sticks. So I was just quite chuffed. I didn't have to carry all that stuff anymore, and that was cool.
Yeah,
But
that's a
then-
good time to stand up and just show up yourself. You don't need
But
to
then you
work.
started doing stand up, and one of your first characters was Rosco McClelland.
Yeah,
I
and I
was going to
was
say, did you
like,
start as Rosco McClelland?
No,
I saw
I
you do
didn't,
that
man.
before I did stand up as a punter. I saw you at the stand one night.
I done a few different things. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, who am I meant to be and stuff like that. And then I tried out a few things and all that, and it was class. And then that seemed to like, I used to send these like scary stories to a guy called McClelland that I knew. I was
all these mad people. I think
Why is his
something
name so
off.
similar to your name?
yeah, I mean Glasgow. But actually, see the guy. This might blow your mind, but you might remember like the guy BMR.
Yeah.
His
Big
name is
Mental Ross.
Ross McClelland.
That's
So
right.
his name was just my name
That
without
was
a D.
fucking confusing.
And the end of it,
Yeah.
yeah. Imagine how confusing it was when I was like 14, 15 joining this band, and you have to like sign in at the youth club, and then like I don't know these 2 guys who I'm in the band with now, and then they know each other, and then he says to her, why did you sign your name in twice? And then this weird thing happens, you know, where we find that out, and it's like, oh my god, we're gonna be friends forever.
So he was here in Kicking Buckets.
He was
Buckets
kicking
with you?
buckets, yeah.
Ah,
I didn't even know that.
2 guys called Ross McClelland.
I know. What are the chances?
Is that how
Turns
you had
out-
to start calling yourself Roscoe just to differentiate
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah.
And then he called himself BMR.
BMR, and I was like,
Neither are you claiming the name.
We done a thing quite early on, and the Reverend Obadiah Steppenwolf like said something about the inventive mind of the Scottish Protestant or something like that, talking about our names being literally the same. And I was like, he's got us there. He's got us there.
I know. No, I forgot that you'd done the skeleton thing. Actually, it's funny because obviously when we started, because I remember the first time I seen you, and it was.
You should probably explain it for the listeners what you're
Yeah,
doing.
so what, I know it's actually quite a difficult task, so I'll pass that to Roscoe. Explain your character of Roscoe McClelland.
Well, my
And you
favourite.
plan to bring it back, right?
I was thinking about it. My favourite ever joke is the one about the Salvation Army guy, and it's like, what I would like to do is I would phone cunts up, right, in the pure middle of the night, and stuff like that, wee guy stuff, you know what I mean, phoning, talking to fucking, you know, lassies late into the night, you know what I mean, like, yeah, alright, how you doing? And then you'd get like, here, I've got a joke for you, go and get a bit of paper and all that, you're in your bed and all that, and I'm like, oh fuck, and then you go away and get a bit of paper, and I'm like, need a pen as well, and they go and get a pen, and you're like, right, you need to draw this as a thing, and then you're like, right, so a big circle, this guy goes into a greasy spoon cafe, and he's like, right, I want my breakfast like this, and you draw a big circle, right, and he's like, I want my plate, and then on the plate I want like 2 streaks of bacon, you know, like wavy, but like both of them horizontal parallel on the right hand side, and then like a perfectly circled fried egg in the middle, and then like 2 sausages horizontal at the top, and you get like a button mushroom facing like the wrong way, like down the way on the left, and then at the bottom just like a couple of triangles of toast, doesn't matter what way they are, doesn't matter, and then you spend as long as you can doing this, and then the other person goes, hold on, you're in the Salvation Army, aren't you? And the guy goes, aye, how'd you know that? And then they go, because you've got your hat on. I fucking love that joke, man, right?
I don't even get it.
I have no idea what the fuck that means.
The whole thing is like you take them down this fucking long path and make them do all this stuff and all that. It's a big shaggy-dog story. And then at the end it's like, hold on a minute, you're in the Salvation Army, aren't you? And then the person who's ordering the breakfast is like, how did you know that? And then you think it's like some kind of special Salvation Army breakfast, and they go, because you've got your hat on. And then that's it. And then they're like, what the fuck, man?
I thought the drawing was going to be like a mad fanny or something.
What is my
I
face?
thought it was
I thought it was a face.
See, you think that, but the drawing means nothing.
Yeah.
The drawing's
It's a red
It's gone right over our heads.
It's a red herring, you see. And that's my favourite joke ever, right?
Do you know my favourite shaggy dog story that you used to do on stage was Mudman?
Oh, I love that, man. I love that. You know what? The only reason I done that is because Lindsay, my wife, said it would never work. And I was like, I'm going to make that work.
And it was
I remember that.
Do
Yeah.
you, want
Story
to,
as
do,
well.
do you mind telling it on here? Or?
I'll absolutely tell it, man. I'm going to bring it back, man. It's time for Mudman to shine. I went for a walk, and then I couldn't believe it. I saw this guy lying on the floor, head to toe, covered entirely in mud. And I was like, oh, mate, you alright? And then he ignored me, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? And I get a bit closer, and I'm like, mate, are you alright? And he still ignores me, and I'm like, you know what? It's fine, you know what I mean? They've got something going on. It's fine, don't get annoyed about this. And then I get even closer, and then I realise it's not a man. It's like the impression of a man. It's like a man print. It's like the impression of a man who's fell in some mud. And I'm like, oh my god, what an idiot, eh? I can't believe I was getting all upset about that, and it's not even a guy. And then I keep on walking, and then I see this man walking towards me, head to toe, covered entirely in mud. And I'm like, and you know what I says to him? And I'm like, what? And I'm like, nothing. Because fool me once, know what I mean? And remember Rosco McClelland, see you later on, good night. Good night.
I forgot that was him because I just remember you would just go, it was just some mud. I just remember that being the first thing.
I remember doing it once for the first time in East Kilbride, man, and it absolutely blew the roof off the place, and I was like, this is the new bit. Second time, not as good. Third time, I was like, I think it was just me carrying that, man. The energy of Lindsay saying it wasn't going to work was carrying that for the first 2 times.
Now, often happens in stand-up, like the first time you ever tell a story or whatever, and I don't know why it is, because you're enthusiastic about it, but it'll work that first time brilliantly, and then it'll never work again.
Yeah.
And you'd always try to chase that high the first time, but I think sometimes it's just because they can tell you're excited about saying it or something like that, or whatever it is, it just works and then it'll never work again. There's so many bits like that, and you always go back to them because you think, oh, it didn't work, there's something in it, but sometimes you just can't get it working.
But you became known for like your shaggy-dog stories and stuff. So like this skeleton character, Rosco McSkeleton, kind of done that a lot, and it was you painted your face as a skeleton and told wee spooky stories.
Aye. I loved it, man.
It was
and
great.
then it was real fun, and then eventually it sort of came to a head when I had to go to Canada to do it. It didn't work.
In Canada?
Is that in like Rangers and Celtic pubs?
It was in like the old Rangers and Celtic pubs and stuff like that. And
I can see why that wouldn't fly.
Yeah, I went to Bramley Celtic Supporters Club, man. It was just all these old expats and like, we might hear about this shorthead flyover. And they're doing this fucking avant-garde character comedy and they're like, what the fuck is this? Yeah. And I walked outside this place after dying in my arse and I stood in this giant car park and just looked at this sky and I was like, I can't even go home, man. I'm on the other side of the planet for like another 10 days and I already don't want to be here, man.
Is that what made you not do the character anymore?
I was sort of like, listen, I need a plan B for an audience like that because I knew that wasn't going to work. And then Pat that took me out was like, no, you need to do what you've been booked to do. And I'm like, what, dye my arse?
Booked you to
Great.
fail.
Yeah.
Disappointment.
Put that fucking makeup on,
Give
son.
them a bad time.
The fucking Joker.
Class. Cheers, Pat, man. Really appreciate that.
So obviously these days, Roscoe, so you're doing a lot of Twitch streaming every night, more or less, and you built up a good following there. Like, it's like, because obviously you started that during lockdown and stuff like that, and how's that been for you?
I love it, man. It feels like I've got my own wee public access TV show that no one can tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? No one's telling me nothing. You know what I mean? Essentially, Jeff Bezos is my boss, and he doesn't even fucking know I exist. And I'm calling him a baldy man every day on fucking Twitch, man. Nobody gives a fuck, man. You know, I've done like so many things that I reckon are probably like close to like TOS breaking. I actually, have I still got them? Because I think you're not supposed to show like your toes and stuff like that. But then last night,
On Twitch.
I think it might be like
You
a
show feet for free, bro.
yeah.
See, when you were telling that story and you went to untie your laces, I did not think that it would be
Toes.
related to what you were going to say.
I mean, because I was pretending like
This is a first for the podcast.
I was
Yeah.
pretending like
With a lot of socks on, showing everything.
For the listeners
Yeah,
who can't
I was
see,
pretending. They're
Roscoe's-
sort of gone. I'd drawn like wee smiley faces on the end of my toes, and I was putting them up in front of the camera, like
That's
just
it.
like down there as if they were like a family, sort of like at the cinema. You know what I mean? Just like a wee family at toes.
It's very cute.
Thank you. I've got nice.
So that's
feet.
against the terms of service of Twitch.
I think so. I think
Why
so.
is that for like foot fetish creeps and stuff?
Probably, yeah. So people don't start like just doing like toe streams.
Because I
and all
suppose
that.
a lot, that's
Yeah.
basically people would have OnlyFans that would be entirely that, I suppose, so they don't want to.
On real turf.
Yeah.
Should make anything called Tonely fans?
Yes.
I'm on WikiFeet. If you're interested,
What's that?
WikiFeet.
What's
WikiFeet's like
Is it like WikiLeaks?
it's basically like it's Wikipedia.
Never
But
seen
for
Jennings
feet,
reach
you
for
know
his
what I
phone
mean?
faster.
Why are you
Okay.
on that?
So if I just type in WikiFeet
WikiFeet
Roscoe,
Roscoe, aye, it'll come up.
you'll be on it fucking new after this.
Someone's
A new addition to the.
basically someone's taking some snapshots of me when I was on Twitch fitting a radiator cover.
I'm going to need to put these up for the.
Post it on WikiFeet.
If you're watching on YouTube, I will post these right now. Is Roscoe, what, you fitting a radiator or something like that?
I
What
said
you doing?
I was putting a radiator cover on because my wife hates the thought of seeing radiators. She's fucking disgusted by them. And I was doing it barefoot, unknowingly that there was a foot person watching on and ready to post me on the internet.
So what is this? A big database for feet that
Big
people
database for
can
feet.
go and wank
Yeah.
over your feet and stuff.
Well, I mean, they could just go and look.
And just look at them.
They don't have to wank. They can also enjoy.
That's what they're doing.
Aye.
That's what they're doing.
If you all get your toes out right now, you could go on it as well. Easily.
He's on
I'm
it.
not that excited about it.
Nah,
Is that
I'm
for-
not.
I've got to save something
I
back.
feel like
I'll do it.
you know, if we need to save
You see
something
it,
for
man.
the Patreon subscribers whenever we start one.
Aye,
I
we'll
mean,
save that for the Patreon.
yeah, if you want to see our feet, man, you need to be paying at least £3 a month or something.
How are your toes? Are they like, if you get like a nice even climb or?
My second toe is bigger than my big toe.
What the hell? How is that happen? What were
Hold
you
on.
doing?
Sorry,
It's
what?
longer.
It's long, it's like it's like
You
the
can
same
ask
size.
it
I think.
You see,
Oh, this
big,
is what-
bigger. Do you don't mean like fatter or whatever?
No,
You
it's
just
not like
it's
a fat.
longer.
So it's just a bit longer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's disproportionate.
It's really caught up there.
Yeah. So
Add that.
there we go. I can be on WikiFeet.
I can get shot for this one.
Steve McCann, WikiFeet.
I don't want me smiling in the back. Collateral in someone's wank or Steve's foot.
People can rate them as well. I've got someone really. I got a 1-star and a 5-star, and I'm like, all right, what is this? Joly or something like that?
I mean, what's someone looking for it for a 5-star foot? Like, if they're looking at yours and go, that's a 1-star foot, are they looking for quality or they're looking for actual
I don't
good
know.
feet?
Do they want me to like oil them up a wee bit?
Sucking your own toes or whatever.
It depends. Everyone's 10 is different, isn't it? As they say, so I'm sure everyone's 5-star feet will be different depending on what you're into. You know, some people like smaller ones. Some people like bigger, longer.
Feet are weird because some people fucking hate feet.
Yeah.
And some people are mad creeps.
Love
it.
Yeah. Some people don't even have them.
Yeah.
This is true.
Where do
just
you
a
lie
fact.
in the foot
I'm
spectrum?
perfectly in the middle. I can take them or leave them.
Yeah, I'm not. I've just
Yeah.
not really
You
interested.
never put someone's toes right in your mouth and just swirl your tongue around them?
That's what I was in 9/11 actually. That's this exact moment I found out the Queen had died. Fuck, I better get her toes out of my mouth.
Wow, I'm telling you, toe job the Queen of Death.
I'm just trying to get some publicity, right? You know what I mean? Fuck it.
You just
Put that in the front of the Daily Mail.
cut to me instead, just looking disappointed.
Yeah, can we get some take? Some cutaways.
Some cutaways, yeah.
I'll do a cut like that. Come with me, man. Twitch 2S doesn't care about this.
Oh man. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode of Some Laugh. Thanks very much once again to Rosco McClelland for joining us this week.
Roscoe,
It's a pleasure.
Very
Thank
fun
you.
having you here.
Thank you.
Roscoe, so you, is it just Twitch probably the new year what a plug? What time do you do your stream every night?
It's like midnight.
Uh-huh.
I'd also like to plug the memory of Princess Diana. She didn't get brought up a lot today, and I just
She
remembered
didn't.
her.
She didn't at all.
Yeah.
But I
And like
watched
Roscoe, she is also on WikiFeet probably.
you can see the toes sticking out the sunroof. And they got paparazzi got that snap they were looking for.
There's Wiki Fingers for Prince Charles.
Oh my god, man, he's got sticky fingers.
Hey,
That's what,
hey,
1 out of 5 for sure.
We're going to have to do more solemn cutaways.
Anyway, guys. Well, thanks very much for tuning in, guys. As ever, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get those podcasts. And you can follow us at Some Laugh on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.
But not Twitch.
Not Twitch.
But not Twitch for now.
Yet.
We'll see. But do follow Roscoe on Twitch. And your on Twitch is just at Roscoe. That's how big a fucking deal you are
Not
over
on
there.
them.
Big deal. I got them to take the original Roscoe account away and just give me it.
How did you do that? Because there's a guy on Twitter called Stephen Buchanan who's not tweeted for like 10 years, and I'm so
Man in his
desperate.
life.
I've been like reporting him every
Yeah,
week.
I do that with at Marchenko, which is the I know I just want that Twitter, and it's like a bot, and it's got one like tweet to a dead link for like
Aye.
10 years ago.
It's horrible.
I know.
I just asked somebody nicely, and they were like,
Like an
alright,
admin
cool.
or something.
Yeah.
Aye, I wasn't like reporting someone. Like they've probably seen it. Like we would give him it, but he's a grass.
Yeah. Anyone on Twitter, please get in touch with me and Steve because I'd love to change my
Yeah.
username.
I'd like to change mine to absolutely.
You get in there before me.
I'm going to ask nicely.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, well, thanks very much for tuning in, and we will speak to you very soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
guys.